Wow, great question. Well, we've done a lot of really great content on Resounding Books blog this month. It's so rich. There's so much there just in terms of the kinds of interviews that we're doing, the information that we're offering, the kinds of topics that we are delving into. We're not anywhere near where we want to be yet. There's still plenty that we're interested in doing, and there's a lot more great stuff coming. But when I look at what we've done over the past month, I think some of the most valuable things have related to three terms: economic development, workforce development, and school to work. And those are terms that really, I think most people for a long time have thought of as being beneficial. These are, initiatives that have these phrases attached to them tend to be viewed very positively. They are viewed as helpful. But when you start to look closer at these kinds of initiatives, at these terms, they really hide a deeper agenda that is not necessarily what people would really get behind if they understood what was really going on. And so the things that we delve into on the blog over the past month that look specifically at economic development, workforce development, and school to work, I think are some of my favorite pieces on the blog this month. Examples, sure. Well, the first would be our May 29th post, which is entitled, What do you mean economic development limits my child? And it looks very specifically at that term, economic development, delves into what it is, how it works, the mechanics of it, and also talks really about how it is related to education ultimately, and over time will guarantee that children's choices and futures are limited. It's pretty troubling stuff, really. And one of my favorite pieces of that article is some video that we were able to embed that looks at an actual interview with a very popular governor and how he is laying out economic development in his state, how he's invested in that whole, what I would consider a really, really bad thing. But it's something that's very widespread today, and so people need to see it in action. They need to know what it is and who's behind it, etc. So I think that's a great article. My second suggestion would be our June 2nd post, which is another segment of my more in-depth discussion on education with the founder of the Reason Individualism Freedom Institute, Marcia Famularo Enright, who's also a contributor to Common Ground and Common Core. Marcia and I talk in this particular segment about wrong turns in education reform. And while she doesn't come right out and use terms like economic development, workforce development, school to work, she is showing how centralization and standardization essentially move in that direction. People are able to pick that up from the dialogue. So that's also really valuable, I think. My third recommendation would be the post that we put up on June 3rd. And this is, in my opinion, one of the most powerful things to date that we have put up at Resounding Books blog. We didn't provide a lot of commentary on it. We basically just provided some simple context to set it up. But really what it is the full transcript of public testimony that was offered by a CPA and mother from Appleton, Wisconsin at the first of the public hearings on Common Core state standards in Wisconsin in October of 2013. And this woman, Jody Lewick, who provided the testimony, describes a meeting that she went to, a private meeting, and who was at that meeting, what the conversation was, etc. It's one of the most troubling things I've ever heard. This is going on literally all over the United States, but essentially what was happening behind closed doors is that a school to work scheme, a career tracking scheme that would be slotting children and doing it very, very purposefully was discussed behind closed doors, and the purpose of the meeting was to get people, business leaders in particular in the community, on board with this plan. So I think that that's also a really, really powerful piece for people to read.